You open Instagram, just for a second, just to check one thing. 45 minutes later, you're watching a stranger's vacation from 2019. You don't know this person. You didn't plan to be here. You didn't even enjoy most of what you saw. So here's the question nobody asks. Who was in control? It wasn't you. And in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why and what you can actually do about it. In 1938, a psychologist named B.F. Skinner ran a very simple experiment. He put rats in a box. When a rat pressed a lever, it got food. Simple enough. But then Skinner changed one thing. He made the food unpredictable. Sometimes pressing the lever gave food. Sometimes nothing. Completely random. And that's when something strange happened. The rats became obsessed. They pressed the lever over and over and over, more compulsively than when the reward was guaranteed. Skinner called this variable reward. And here's the part that should make you uncomfortable. Every time you pull to refresh your feed, you're the rat, and your thumb is the lever. Sometimes you find something funny, sometimes something sad, sometimes nothing at all. But your brain doesn't care. The unpredictability is the addiction, not the content. You were never scrolling for something specific. You were scrolling because not knowing what comes next feels impossible to stop. You've probably heard that scrolling releases dopamine, the so-called feel-good chemical. But here's what almost everyone gets wrong. Dopamine is not the pleasure chemical. It's the seeking chemical. Neuroscientist Jaak Panksepp spent decades studying this, and what he found changed how we understand addiction. Dopamine doesn't spike when you find something good. It spikes when you search for something good. Think about the last time you ordered something online. Which felt better? Browsing, adding things to your cart, imagining how they look, or actually receiving the package? For most people, it's the browsing. That's dopamine. And your feed is designed to keep you in a permanent state of seeking. No ending, no resolution, just endless possibility, right around the next scroll. Your brain is chasing a reward that never fully arrives. And the more you scroll, the more dopamine receptors you burn through, meaning next time you need more to feel the same things. It's not weakness, it's neuroscience. Now here's where it gets darker. This wasn't an accident. In 2017, a former Google design ethicist named Tristan Harris sat in front of the US Senate and said something most tech companies didn't want said out loud. A handful of people working at a handful of tech companies are influencing the minds of 2 billion people. These engineers understood variable rewards. They understood dopamine. They understood exactly how human attention works. And they used that knowledge to build something your brain was never designed to resist. Infinite Scroll was invented in 2006 by a designer named Ozzy Raskin. He later said, and I'm quoting directly, "It's as if they took behavioral cocaine and sprinkled it over the interface." He has since dedicated his career to undoing what he built. Then came autoplay, because the most dangerous moment for keeping you watching is when a video ends and you have to choose to continue. So they removed the choice. Then came notification badges, red dots, deliberately designed to trigger the same anxiety response as a warning signal in nature. Your brain sees a red dot and thinks, something needs my attention right now. This isn't coincidence. This is engineering.
So what does all of this actually do to you over time? First, your attention span shrinks. Not because you got lazier, not because your generation is weaker, but because it's been recalibrated. Second, the comparison trap. Every scroll is an invisible comparison. Their vacation, their body, their relationship, their success. You're not consciously doing it, but your brain is keeping score. And it almost always finds you losing. Third, phantom notifications. Have you ever felt your phone vibrate, checked it, and there was nothing there? Studies show up to 90% of smartphone users experience this. Your brain has become so conditioned to expect notifications that it starts generating the sensation itself. That's not a metaphor. That's your nervous system being physically rewired.
Now, I'm not going to tell you to delete your apps. You won't, I won't, nobody does. But there are 3 things that actually work. Not because they require willpower, but because they work with your brain instead of against it. The first is friction. Move your social media apps off your home screen. 1 extra folder, 1 extra tab. That's it. Research shows this single change reduces daily usage by around 20%. Because most of the time, you open these apps on autopilot. Break the autopilot. Break the loop. The second is grayscale. Go to your phone settings and switch your screen to grayscale. Color is a core part of how these apps hold your attention. Red notifications, bright thumbnails, vivid feeds. Remove the color, and your brain finds it significantly less compelling. Most people who try this reduce screen time within 48 hours. The third, and most important, is to replace the loop, not break it. Your brain doesn't want to stop seeking. That's not a flaw, that's biology. So instead of trying to eliminate the dopamine loop, redirect it towards something you control. A walk, book, 5 minutes of writing. Goal isn't to stop the loop, it's to own it. Here's the truth. You were never lazy. You were never weak. You were up against $1 billion system designed by some of the smartest engineers on the planet to keep you exactly where you were. Now, you know how it works. And knowing is always the first step.